Welcome to my vlog. Every single Friday you make the efforts to take time and come here to watch, so I appreciate you. And a big thank you to Kampala Serena Hotel, who have become home to this vlog every single Friday. They let me come and play, have some tea and talk to you. So a big thank you to Kampala Serena Hotel. On today's vlog, I want to talk about relationships. It's one thing you guys have been bombarding me to talk about. Say, okay, great topics, but can you please address relationships? I didn't know where to start, and so I figured, why not ask you what you want to hear about? So on my Instagram stories, I asked the question, what do you want to know about relationships? And wow, you want to know so much. So I've grouped it in the themes of what you asked me. So question one, or the first theme, was meeting the parents. How do I know it's the right time to meet my partner's parents? And when is a good time to say, can I meet your parents? That's a hard one, especially us from African society, because once the parents meet you, sometimes it's hard to introduce another person. I come from a very conservative family. If they met one partner, you are never taking the partner away. They'll be attached for life, and forever and ever they'll be asking you about the person. So I only had to show them my partner once we were trying to get married, because then, you go through the processes of introduction and all of that. My husband's family was the same way. His values were that, you don't meet the parents until we are concrete and solid in ourselves. So if you're just like us and you come from that kind of family, which will not accept anything but, oh, you're close to getting married, I'd suggest not to. But some people have like sisters and brothers that you're close to and you don't mind introducing your boyfriend or girlfriend to. So I guess leave it to your partner to decide when they can introduce you to whoever it is. I don't think you should ask, can I meet the parents? Here's why. Because when somebody wants to settle down with you, they'll make that work easily. It'll be seamless for them to get you to meet their family or somebody in their family. However, I do think a conversation about the family is important. How many siblings do you have? What kind of family do you come from? Are you all crazy? Are you all good? So yeah, maybe have the conversation about your partner's family, but meeting them, I'd personally suggest leave it up to them to decide when. And the second theme of questions were around religion and dating. So I'm dating somebody in a different religion. How do I make it work? Or my partner wants me to change to their religion. How do I make it work? And somebody actually said, Flavia, you've discussed that your husband is Anglican and you're Catholic. How did you make that work? If you missed that, go to the Get to Know Me tag. But for us, I don't think it's that hard. Anglicans and Catholics are cousins. You know what I mean? They're not too far from each other. I guess if I was getting a Muslim, maybe that would be too far because I haven't grown up around it. However, I've seen cases where people say, you know what, you don't have to change into my religion, you can stay as you are. So as far as religion is concerned, when you're getting married, especially for me, I had to pick a church. And you have to pick your husband's church, unless for you are just big-headed. So we had to pick where he prays or what religion he goes with. And so based on that, we went there, we did what was necessary. And then going forward in the marriage, you decide, how are we going to walk in faith? Are we going to walk in faith with your religion? Are we going to walk in faith with my religion? Are we going to create our own religion? Or are we going to form our own faith and slowly build our faith as a couple, slowly, and see how that goes? Just be careful. If you're getting into a relationship with somebody from a different religion, have that conversation. Will this be a deal breaker, honey? Okay, if it is going to be a deal breaker, what do we do now? And the next question was about career versus relationship. In fact, one girl asked if it's okay to actually have your own careers, especially for us women, have it thrive and then walk into a relationship. Tell you what, my life was different. I got to work my career, build it, solidify it, and then get into a committed relationship. If you're lucky to have it that way, fantastic. Then build your career, focus on that, and then focus on a relationship. Why I say that is because now I dictate how my career goes. I dictate my working hours. I dictate what happens. I don't have to put in the same effort and energy as I did in the beginning when I was building, which then means I have time to put into my relationship. Now, some of you are very good at, prioritizing and making time for everything. If you're able to put so much energy into your career or your work and do the same for your marriage or your relationship, then by all means do that. But I am aware that some people don't get the jobs they want or the work they want very quickly after, for example, maybe graduation, and you have to go through years of school and masters and all sorts of that. If you are the type who's going through all of that, it doesn't hurt to have a conversation with your partner if you're just dating and say, listen, my ambitions are a couple of more years for my master's. I'd like to go back for my PhD because I feel like my journey will end up here and here. So that they know your timelines look like this. Because we've seen people who are married, who have kids, who are going back for their PhDs. We've seen all of that happen, but it's a conversation between two people. So don't have your career projecting alone, just you and your career, and your partner has no clue what you're doing. And then they wake up one day and say, I want you to focus on the relationship in this way, because they didn't know your dreams and your aspirations. So I'd suggest be very vocal. If this is the person you want to end up with in the future, be very vocal and say, this is the trajectory of my career. And to be honest, I want to work on it. I need a good 3 years just to put this much effort. So I need the 3 years. I need our relationship to grow, but I also need my career to grow. And most cases you find that the right person will understand that conversation. I promise. And related to career was the question on finance. Should I keep finances a secret from my partner? How do you have those uncomfortable, awkward financial conversations with your partner? I guess it depends where you are in your relationship. First of all, I think there are people who choose to invest together when they're just dating. I don't know how you do it. You are brave human beings. There are people who have children together but are not married. Automatically, when you have a child together, you have a financial obligation. You guys have to talk about money somehow, because somebody's going to be a breadwinner, somebody's going to be able to do this and that. You have to talk about money. Or you live together, and so there are expenses like rent. Somebody buys the food in the home, somebody buys the new couch. So yeah, if you live together, you've got kids together, or you're just dating and you bought property together, the conversation of money will come. If you live together, it's as good as asking, who's going to pay the rent? Both of us. Okay, what does that mean? 60-40, 50-50, 70-30. So all I'm saying is have a discussion around money. If you don't have the discussion around money, one of you is going to be sitting and then they're going to come bulldoze you off because you do not know about finances. If you're married, you went through counseling. They told you about his money, her money, our money. And then you know that in marriage, sometimes there's a very thin line. You don't know whose money is being used, and that's okay. If you are in a marriage where you both bring in some money, talk about things like, okay, honey, I know I also bring a paycheck into this marriage, but what will it be doing? Is my money for my shoes and my chai at Serena? Or it pays rent, it buys cars, it takes kids to school. What about your money? Then what will it do if mine pays the fees? Oh, okay, it will buy us property, it will invest for us. Okay. So you need to have that conversation. And mind you, when you get engaged, when we're trying to be in a committed relationship, I suggest that's when you have that money conversation. Going forward, honey, what are you responsible for? I mean, I might assume, but what are you really responsible for? So you don't get it twisted. And the other questions were about being yourself in a relationship. In February, I went and spoke about self-love on Instagram and on Facebook, and people were hounding me down. You're a married woman. Why are you talking about loving yourself? Okay. You're an individual, your husband is an individual, you come together. So if you forget that you're an individual, what's going to happen? You need to be reminded that you walked into that relationship a full, whole person, not half. Whole person. You must love yourself, understand yourself, care for yourself, be ambitious for yourself, have your own dreams, have your own goals, and then see how you can also fuse them in the couple goals. You know, what vision the relationship has. So it's very important you don't lose yourself in marriage. However, it's probably the hardest thing to achieve. When I walked into a marriage, I said, oh, it's going to be easy. I'm independent, you're independent, honey, we're going to make it work. I suffered. I suffered because of all the pressure that comes with a new wife. Everybody expects you to take care of a home, take care of your man, take care of this and take care of that. And nobody mentions take care of yourself. And so for a long time, it took me a few bumps here and there to try and figure out what it means for me to take care of myself while not abandoning my role as a wife. It's a different journey for everyone, but I would say it's not going to be easy, but you can achieve being yourself or loving yourself or accepting yourself or taking care of yourself, even in a marriage. And the biggest question, the most asked question, 90% of people, I'm telling you, asked this question: how do I know this is the one? Flavia, how did you know your husband was the one? I feel like I should have gotten an answer and put a balloon on it and made it pretty, but there isn't a pretty answer. So you want my personal story? I got to know he was the one over time. We were friends for about 7 years, and we dated for a few years or so before marriage. And I don't know if there was one day that gave me butterflies and chills and made me think, oh, you're the one, you're the guy. But over time, you find that this person has good values, is honest, is respectful, is caring, is loving, is loyal. Do you know what I mean? Is ambitious in different ways, is willing to change where he has flaws. It's just every day you learn something about this person, and every day you decide whether it's a yes or a no. And so when they keep piling up and you say, okay, I have more yeses than I have no's, you're like, I could live with you. I could start a life with you. Could have a family with you. I'm cool with you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you know the person is the one. So look at your partner and say, okay, what are your values? What do you think about money? Do you like to make it? Do you like to work? You might not be making gazillions right now, but do you like to get up and work and be ambitious about something? Great. What about family? Do you like your family? Do you spend time with your family? No. How come? We have deep-rooted issues. Oh, what kind of deep-rooted issues? You guys want to kill each other? Yes. Why? What about your friends? I don't have any friends. Why don't you have friends? The little things about a human being, because when you get married, you're marrying a human being. So you need to just make sure that it's the kind of human being you can survive with. And so every day check off values or say no. And eventually you look at the list and decide, makes sense or it doesn't. Yeah, it's not rocket science, I know. Hopefully I helped you out. But if you have any comments on anything we've talked about today, as always, the comment section is open. Click subscribe and like. Bye.